Oh, welcome in a Friday edition of the Daily Fix with Ron Hughley. You see Steve
Woo,
Serta, Mr. Little Box. Little
woo.
Box in the building. Hey, it's been a great first week. This show opened up on Tuesday, the first day. We're bringing it to you every single day. As I say, we won't hold you long. First thing I want you to do, as every day, is um, is download, subscribe, like all of it on YouTube, our YouTube page. And this is the Daily Fix presented by Foolish Club Media. Subscribe, like. If you don't, you are preventing me from feeding my family. So, yes, pressure. So go ahead and download, like, and subscribe. We hit three things every single day, and we have some fun with it. First, I do want to say, guys, I am playing hurt on this Friday. Serta, we've known each other a long time. You know, I have an issue with dairy products. Been banging out a lot of yogurt, and then for some reason I go like Nutty Professor, the clumps, where I'll have certain things just swell up on me. Usually it's an eye, it's like the eyebrow or the lip. And I banged out some yogurt this morning, and my lip just blew up. It has gone down. I had to go to CVS and get some Benadryl and some cortisone stuff, and we've been able to get it down a little bit. So I am playing hurt. I can
So
still feel it.
this only happens sometimes when you eat yogurt. It does it.
It's dairy. It's dairy. When I bang out dairy, when I
Man,
start eating a lot of dairy, and I've probably been having yogurt a lot, in
I
terms of
eat
dairy.
Greek yogurt almost every day.
I'm telling you. So it like one time I went to a movie and I was banging out nachos after having some real ice cream one week. I came out. All my friends thought, like Mike Tyson, it's just whooped my ass in the middle of the theater. I was like, "What the hell happened to your eye?" It was completely swollen shut, and I was like, and I could feel it. I could feel it happening. So I'm good though. Playing hurt. Shout out to the Benadryl. Shout
I
out
thought
to
you were gonna say you were playing hurt because you hadn't gotten a haircut yet.
No, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Got the worst part is my two boys. They look even worse. 11 o'clock tomorrow. We got we got an appointment. Hey man, we had a damn hurricane. Okay, get off my back, Steve. All right, just because you have good flowing, beautiful hair doesn't mean anything. All right, we got to get to a few things. One, maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off on Nelly, but that blew me away. Also, what's the ceiling? What's the ceiling for a position group with the Kansas City Chiefs? But before we get there, I want to start with Nick Bolton. Serta, I have a special place in my heart for Nick Bolton, even though I have forgiven him for going to that god awful school that my wife went to, Missouri. But I have always been a fan of Nick Bolton. I've always thought that he was underrated and undervalued, specifically underrated and undervalued. It feels like at times with the Chiefs, especially when it comes to paying money. I was happy to see that executives, coaches, and scouts sort of view Nick Bolton as a top five off ball linebacker in the league. And I've always felt that way. And sort of you know it from day one. All we do with Nick Bolton is what? Talk about his deficiencies. Talk about his deficiencies. And you know what? You know what I feel like? Tell me if you think I'm wrong here, sort of. I feel like Nick Bolton is getting a little bit of the Travis Kelsey treatment. I think early in Travis Kelsey's career, I don't think he gave a damn about blocking. I don't think he was very good at it. I don't think he really cared to do it. But that was the narrative that was real at the time, but continued to follow him throughout his career. And I think Travis Kelsey is a much better blocker the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years than he gets credit. I think it just continues to follow him that he's not a good blocker. I think early in Nick's career, he was awful in coverage, and that's where you could take advantage of him. I don't think he is as bad as people make him out to be. Now, surely, if he is stuck on Zay Flowers for 9 seconds by himself in the middle of the field, yeah, he's going to lose that battle like he did in the playoff game. But I think Nick Bolton has improved his level of 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 coverage skills that he's good enough out on the field. So I think that's kind of BS what's followed Nick Bolton. I think he is much better than people give him credit for, even in coverage.
I actually think that he was much better at it last year prior to his
Yes,
injury, and then struggled a little bit when he came back, but that was probably due to injury.
I'm telling you, Serta, I think it would be a real mistake if the Chiefs don't make him a priority. Now, do I think it's a mistake enough that it will stop this potential dynasty? No, I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid could probably make up for it. But it doesn't matter. That's beside the point. I do think he is somebody they should make a priority. And plus, linebackers aren't getting paid as much as other premium positions. And he is vastly underrated and really important to this defense. So I hope they take care of that cat. I was happy to see him get the respect that sometimes it seems like the Chiefs don't give him. All right. I have been thinking about this receiving core, Serta, and it should be improved and a lot of fun. And I know this is something that you get frisky about. I know there is nothing in sports that touches your heart more than receivers. See how long you tried to make Josh Gordon work.
Love a good
But
route tree.
oh, I know you do. I know you do. You believe in one. But I'm thinking, what's the ceiling for this receiving core? Is the ceiling for this receiving core the totality of the group, the wide receivers, not including Kelsey and Jared? Ooh, Jared. My God, the tight end, the new kid from TCU, not including him, but just the wide receivers. Is the ceiling for them the best group, complete group that Mahomes has ever had? I think it's on the table. Now, I think about 18. Would you say Serta's probably the best when they had Tyreek and they had Sammy Watkins and that
Demarcus
crew,
Robinson, Gary
Demarcus
Jeter.
Robinson? Yeah, like they were top heavy. But I think this group, and maybe even the next year when Byron Pringle was added to it and Demarcus Robinson was better and McCole Hardman was added to it as well, maybe that group is the highest ceiling receiving core that he's had. I think when you think about, I think with Rashee Rice, Brown, and Worthy, I think all three of them are capable of getting 700 plus yards. And then Watson's the steady hand, like he's Garrett Dieter on steroids, and McCole Hardman and Tony can kind of provide their own thing. I think this could be the highest ceiling group that Patrick Mahomes has had from the receiving court, like as a whole. I think they've got that type of capability. There's no Tyreek Hill running around in this, but just that top three to me is better because you can't depend on Tenderfoot, Sammy Watkins. But I think that top three is better than any group Mahomes has had.
Yeah, I think that Worthy and Hollywood Brown are going to add an element to this offense that we've been
Yes.
missing. And there's a lot of whether Rashee Rice gets suspended or not, like he's got to take a step forward and become a more complete wide receiver, which I agree with. But I don't think that with the ability to actually throw downfield again this season, I don't
No.
think that Rice needs to take a huge step forward and have this like huge expanded route tree or anything like that. He can totally just eat the way that he did last season on crossers and in the intermediate stuff because that's what he's really good at.
Yeah, the only thing that's would prevent him from getting 1,000 yards that will is his joyriding and his inviting people in the back of nightclubs in Dallas, allegedly. Like that's the only thing that will stop him from getting 1,000 yards. This group has went as crazy as that nut Kadarius Toney is. When Kadarius Toney is your sixth, and you can go in and at least get big play. Like everybody except Watson has big playability, chunk playability, and even Watson. No, everybody in this group has chunk playability, but Watson. All right, this is the last thing I want to get to. I'm a big fan of the Kansas Jayhawks, and every year they do late night, and they like to bring artists. All right, they had Shaq do the DJing thing when Shaq started becoming like the DJ guy. They've had different acts come through. I believe I went once, and maybe Cisco was there. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but
I've been once too. I don't remember who
they
was
they they they, they try to do it big. Snoop was there a couple of years back. They're going Nelly.
there.
And listen, listen. I love Cornell Haynes Jr. All right, oddly enough, a really good baseball player in his youth and high school years. I'm a big fan of him. Good. I'm glad he found love with Ashanti. They're taking a chance having that child that age, but in their 40s. But good. I'm happy they found love and found it back. But I just don't get the feel that in 2024 that Nelly is the tab at late night for college kids. Like, I think the coaching staff is going to be fired up. I think some of the parents of the kids are going to be fired up. I mean, how many Nelly songs do you think that these college kids are going to have? I mean, they're going to have country
None.
grammar, right? They got country grammar.
I don't think they even
You
have
don't think
that.
they have country grammar?
You're talking about 18-year-old kids?
18 to 20. Listen, those kids have Montel Jordan, that wedding song that's every Montel Jordan song. They got that. You think when Nelly jumps out with "It's getting hot in here," you think they got that?
Okay.
They got that
they
one.
probably have that.
But after that, man, I don't know. Like, maybe he brings out the young ladies and he performs tip drill, and he takes that credit card and slides it like he did in that nasty video. Maybe he gets Tim McGraw out. You remember when he took a chance and did that song with Tim McGraw? Okay. I mean, he showed his range a bit. I just think we got to do better, KU. We got to put this money somewhere else. We got to get younger.
I think there's some kids who probably know a couple Nelly songs, but I would not be shocked if you went around and polled a bunch of kids before late night at the Phog if they had ever heard of Nelly. A lot of them would be like, "No, I have no idea who this is."
No, I just don't think it's like, "Oh my God, we got Nelly coming in, and the St. Lunatics are gonna be there. Murphy Lee's gonna be there."
Does he even make new music anymore, or he just plays the hits? Does he even try to put?
I don't know. I think he seems like he's reached the hits. Next year, I guess it'll be the Stones and the Who. They're like getting mid. You remember those years where the Super Bowl halftime show was the Who and the Stones and Ray Charles? I don't know if Ray Charles is
Rolling Stones playing this weekend outside of Branson, Missouri.
They are not.
They are. I think there's summer tour there, but apparently it's a beautiful new concert venue that they just built outside of Branson.
I'm glad Keith Richards has finally stopped getting high. Hi, Mom.